Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 646 for the 1st of December. Let's start out with major news. The biggest news that rumored out of Ukraine is basically Marinka. However, I just want to pop your bubble. Marinka is not captured by the Russian forces yet. I have basically checked with my trusted sources. Basically, both Deep State UA, the Ukrainian side, and Ryba, the Russian side, both says that despite there is this geolocation of this flag over at this very house, so that at this very house here, this house here with this weird horseshoe thingy, so there is a Russian flag being planted over there. However, that is not an indication that the Russian forces have basically captured this position. It's not that the Russians have captured like this. This is not the case. Both OSINT, both very reputable OSINT, have both asked people to reserve your excitement, and most likely this is not yet the case. They both have said that the Ukrainian forces definitely is still in the area here. So the capture of Marinka is not yet. So this is very important. I want to handle this thing first. I will go back to this place later. The bigger news is actually the situation within the Avdiivka Front, where the Russian offensive is currently ongoing. The most biggest thing before I go into the strategic picture is the Russian advancement in this area here. So the pro-Russian source Ryba basically have went on to further extend the front line. Previously it was something like this. Now there is this push even further up in this area here, heading towards Lashtokine, and also there's this push into the western part of Zhevene towards Tonenke. And this, if you look at this, this is actually very advanced position. This is the main road. This is the road of life for Avdiivka, and they are now heading in that direction. Currently, the Russian forces is heading towards the direction towards Lashtokine. And in terms of, if you believe the Ryba's mapping, the front line is merely 1.5 kilometers away from Lashtokine itself. And on top of that, the Russian forces, also based on the Ryba's mapping, seems to have captured all of the tree lines in this area here. The Russians have taken the entire tree line around here, and they are just off this Khimik region, or the 9th district of the Avdiivka. So from this position, the Russian forces can easily launch an attack into the city itself, where there is already a geolocation of the Russian forces attacking a alleged headquarters of the Ukrainian forces within this position over here. So situation is advancing for the Russians. Similarly, there is also the further confirmation. The Ukrainian source Deep State UA also added and double confirmed that the Russian forces have made some progress within Svatove itself. So we look at the big picture. Oh, there's another part where the Russian forces also have advanced. Is actually in the southeastern part of Novokalinove, where the Russian forces have made a push further up to this reservoir region here. The front line has actually moved up, and in this area here, and the Russians have basically moved further up north of the railway line, basically pushing the line up, and they are heading towards Novokalinove. I think it's merely 2 kilometers. It's also around 1.5 kilometers away from that direction. So if you look at the strategic picture, so I usually do right in the beginning, the Russian forces are attacking southeast of Novokalinove, south of Novokalinove, towards Stepove, towards the coke plant region in the south of Avdiivka, towards Khimik, towards Lashtokine in the east of Zhevene itself, towards Tonenke, and also there's a progress over at Pervomaisky. So this is a strategic situation. None of the areas have a Ukrainian counteroffensive being reported. At Pervomaisky, similarly, the Russian forces, according to Ryba, the pro-Russian source, also has progressed and basically captured all the regions along this reservoir or lake of the Izmailovsky Stavok. Basically, I think Stavok is lake, and basically they are now pushing Pervomaisky. There, according to the information by Ryba, they say that there is less and less resistance over at Performance-K. So let me see. See strong point, blah blah blah, and same. Then there's putting up. So in this area, the Ukrainian forces are putting up less resistance. So things are weakening for the Ukrainians in this position. Oh my God, we are moving further and further away. So yeah. So that means the Ukrainian forces are actually, falling back, probably against orders, to something that is a more defendable position, because moving this far out is always very risky, because Russian drones are basically everywhere, and you're very far away from help. Further geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting shelled northwest of Tonenke by artillery, and then so in this area here, again, I just want to highlight the Russians are pushing in the entire sector. Particularly, there is major push towards Lashtokini here in the north, and the important road is just off Lashtokini, just over here. This is a disaster, and if the Russians cut off this road, then Avdiivka will be operationally encircled. So this is very, very serious. And then the Russians are also reportedly attacking in the coke plant region. They have not, I think, fully entered it yet. According to Ryba, they say that they are focusing near the coke plant. They are not in the coke plant just yet. Svatove also, we have reports from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. South of Novokalinove is by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. This push north of the railway line, holding positions over at this reservoir here. This is by Ryba, the pro-Russian source. So this is also quite bad. Actually, if you look, this is actually already the settlement of Novokalinove, which means that the Russians at this position, the Ukrainian, this town is actually just off here. This is probably just 500 meters, I guess. Yeah, around 700 meters is actually very, very near. So the Russian forces may go on an attack, and they may start to enter into Novokalinove very, very soon. If the Ukrainians cannot keep up with the defense in this area here. So yeah, so this is the situation over at Avdiivka. We don't have a lot of news about this area. I think the Russians have stopped here because it's not necessary to push further, as the main pincer is in this area here. So double pincer. So in this way. So that's it from the Avdiivka front. And we move further south back to Marinka. There is a Russian Defense Ministry reporting about Ukrainian counterattacking over at Marinka. So this clash with the reports coming from Ryba, saying that there is fighting still in this area here. But as Ryba has said, despite the installation of the flag in the outermost houses, it's still too early to talk about the complete capture of the settlement. So, but they say that the situation is developing more and more in this direction, saying that the Russians are indeed making very good progress in Marinka itself, and they are now on the verge of capturing the rest of this southern part. However, Deep State UA did make a very good point that Marinka is actually a bit bigger. So this is actually Marinka. This is actually until all the way to this entire lake, but of course there's no houses here. So essentially, the Ukrainians' Marinka is actually just like this. This is the remaining part of the Marinka. So I think maybe I don't need to dot. So this is the remaining. The Russians are likely to capture this area within a few days. Then probably the concentration of the attack will be coming in the north here. And previously, we did report that there is a concentration of 40 vehicles in the northern part of Marinka. We might actually see them being used in this advance. That report comes a few days ago. I'm not sure if you have caught it. So further south from Marinka, we have fighting reported at Novomikhailivka. Russian and Ukrainian Defense Ministry both acknowledge that the Russians are making this push around here. Geolocation of Russian airstrike by using high weightage bombs on the western part of Novomikhailivka. Ryba reported a Ukrainian attack towards Mikhailske. I think it's in the morning. Yeah, in the morning. However, it did not work out. And then the Russians are reportedly, doing some fire attack against Ukrainian forces over at the Voleda region. So situation is getting really tense. Things is really looking like, you know, is starting to heat up by quite a bit, and the Russians is looking like, you know, on the verge, you know, on the precipice of launching a massive offensive across the entire front. Even though the offensive is already on, but, you know, is feeling like there is this, you know, avalanche gonna happen very, very soon. Because yeah, you know, it's just a gut feeling I get. Over on the Kherson Front, at the Kherson Front, Ukrainian forces have not given up on Krinky. They continue to send reinforcement to Krinky, according to the information from Ryber. And according to this Russian source, they say that there's currently several hundred soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers within Krinky, but there is no fighting being reported. It's just that the Ukrainians continue to reinforce. They are going to hold this place as much as they can. So, you know, good luck to the Ukrainians. And well, I just noticed there is boats here, you know. Yeah, I wonder when is this satellite image. So anyway, further up north, there is geolocation of this Mi-8 getting shot down. The geolocation is actually a drone footage of the helicopter burning, but you can't really see the helicopter. It's just one burning, you know, smoke stuff. But it was, so I didn't really care about that much about that report until the Russian Defense Ministry now actually confirmed that a Mi-8 was shot down over Tyahinka. And further up north from Tyahinka, there was another, you know, Lancet strike on the Ukrainian forces on artillery system. So, no, all the Ukrainian artilleries, previously there's another one here. It looks like they are all gathering around this area here north of Tyahinka, and the Russians are, you know, finding it pretty easy to find them because they are all in the same place. So this is actually not very good. The Ukrainian forces should, you know, move to, you know, something somewhere else to fire the artillery, or, you know, they are going to run out of artillery at this rate. And further up, there is also MiG-29. MiG-29 shot down over Peresadovka in the Mykolaiv region. I haven't said the word Mykolaiv like for a very long time. So Mykolaiv region, yeah. So that's pretty far away. Again, it's going to be, I think it's shot down by air defense. No, they didn't mention what shot it down. So that's all from the southern part, southern front. We're going to the Zaporizhzhia Front at the Orikhiv sector. The Ukrainians continue to claim that they are still on the offensive, if you look at their report. So, you know, it's very bizarre. But they are indeed trying to attack in the Robotine region as well as Verbove region, while the Russians are also conducting offensive of their own at the same time. So, you know, it is a clash of forces, and the Ukrainians are geolocated to have used Leopard 2 tanks, you know, where it was abundant in this geolocation. It shows that the Ukrainian forces are trying very hard. There is another video that I saw. There was a column of armored vehicles where the Ukrainians are firing at the tree line. They're moving across the field, and then they are also getting struck by anti-tank weaponry. So it shows that the Ukrainians are doing whatever they could to, you know, to improve their lines as far as they can. So other than that, I think there is not a lot to really talk about in this region here. Despite the active clashing, the front line don't change a lot. It is basically a grind on both sides to see who will come out on top. There's nothing over at the Velika-Novosilka sector. So, you know, the entire Zaporizhzhia Front, you can actually almost effectively say that the Ukrainian counteroffensive is basically now left with just this little bit. The entire Velika-Novosilka have went quiet entirely. This is all that's left from the Ukrainian offensive. Verbove and Robotine region, and that's about it. So I think Zaporizhzhia Front is going to get more and more quieter as we go along. As you can see, the Russians are pushing mostly along the Donetsk Front region. The entire Donetsk Front becomes the main front line, as well as the Kupyansk Front. So Zaporizhzhia is going to take a back seat, going back to what they used to be, a front that, you know, usually, you know, very, very quiet. We move into further up to, let me see, Bakhmut Front. At the Bakhmut Front, there is this report of fighting near Dilyevka. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, I can't tell where exactly this is supposed to mean. I didn't know that if the Russians actually have broke out of the Kudyomivka or Zeranivka region to cause a report to be reported near Dilyevka. So I'm not sure if this is the case. We shall continue to monitor to see if there's actually any real change in this area here. Fighting around the Sumy PDF near Mayos region was not reported. I did mention it is very important for the Russians to hold Mayos, and this is a strategically important position where the Ukrainians were attacking, I think, the day before. But no, it was not reported. So no, this is rather disappointing if you ask me from a pro-Ukrainian perspective. Although I'm not pro-Ukrainian, I'm just saying from a pro-Ukrainian perspective, because it is sometimes I make a joke and then my face is too poker, and then people didn't realize I make a joke. Like I yesterday did a report. I say CNN is the most trusted media, but I didn't even flinch, and then people is like asking in the comments like, oh, what do you say? Then it's like, come on, get to know me more. Anyway, southern part of Bakhmut Front, the Russian forces continue their attack on Klishchiivka. Again, we don't have much details, and Andriivka. And these reports of attack continue to be reported, but we totally have no idea what is the advancement. No one knows. Only the Russian Defense Ministry know, or only the Fox God know. So then there is attack towards Ivanivsky, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Again, most likely based on we know from previous reportings, is that the Russians are trying to push along the highway towards Ivanivsky, and there is also geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting shelled within this Dacha region, just off the southwest of Bakhmut city. So we shall continue to wait and see and monitor how it goes. Some also say that call this they changed the name already. Some changed this to Wagner Land, but so we shall see how this goes. Further up northwest of Wagner Land, we have Russian forces pushing in the eastern part of Bodanivka. According to Deep State UA, the front line have changed again this time round. It changed back to the previous mapping that I have previously drawn and then invalidated by geolocation, and then now I reference back Deep State UA and it go back to the same line. So so the Russians have taken this tree line, and they are definitely making the push in this area here. They are making this push, and this spells of deja vu, but we shall see how this goes. And there is also reported fighting on the outskirts of Bodanivka. This information I think is from Ryba. Ryba reported that the fighting is on the outskirts of Bodanivka. Ukrainian Defense Ministry only say that there is fighting in this area here. So this is another area of concern. So there is so many areas of concern, and things are getting really, really exciting. And then we have reports of fighting near Krychorivka, according to both Russian and Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So I wonder if there is this advance towards in this direction. And so we shall see how this goes. We do not know if this is really what is currently happening, because they just say report of fighting, but a lot of time we say fighting, but nothing changes. And that's it from the Bakhmut Front. And we move into Kreminna Front. So there is nothing over at the Svatove Front. Nothing is currently happening along this front line. Into the Kreminna Front, we have also updates. Other than the usual, where the Ukrainians and Russians are basically slam into each other within the Serebryansky forestry, there is some frontline changes over in the eastern part of Terny. Previously, we have reports of fighting in the east of Terny, and this time now it does shows, based on Deep State UA's mapping, the Russian forces have basically went from something like this to this new line here. This is the new line where the Russians basically have my god, the arrow is terrible. It's moving in this area here, and the Ukrainian forces are on the back foot. They are still holding some of these tree lines. There is still a lot more to go. The Ukrainian forces basically can reinforce and continue to move to the front line in a rather safe manner through these forest lines. But the Russians are making this push. I think we shall continue to wait and see how this goes. There is a geolocation of airstrike on this bridge, this road bridge here on the Zerobets River. So, but no, it's not going to change much. Winter is coming, or or maybe winter is already here, the river will froze, they were just able to cross over the river with no problems at all. Over at Svatove, we have some, again, the reports from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry about Russians attacking in the area of Stemakivka, in the Svatove Front. There's nothing particularly special about this. And we move further up into the Kupyansk Front. So, Kupyansk, this is Kupyansk city, this is the Kupyansk Front. At the Kupyansk Front, there is Russian Defense Ministry reports of fighting near Peshanoye. Peshanoye is Peshany, Peshany in this area here. So we will have to see, because this is also Peshany, this is also Peshany. So but they're unlikely to be this one, more likely to be this one, because maybe the Russians have Avdiivka and Kreminna. So hitting Peshany might make sense, but we shall see, because this Russian mapping that I've drawn is totally not acknowledged by Deep State UA. Deep State UA's mapping is still around here, so we shall see how this goes. Russians are also reportedly attacking Khyslivka. This is from the Russian Defense Ministry. They themselves tell us that they are attacking, as opposed to the Ukrainians. Usually it's the Ukrainians that tell us. And the Russians are also attacking Timkovka, according to Ryba, with the Russian forces expanding their control around this area here, taking key heights, and then fighting reported at Petropavlivka and Sinkivka. Ukrainians are attacking at Sinkivka itself also, as per reported by the Zapad group of forces, by the Russians. And Ukrainian and Russian Defense Ministry in their main report simply say that they're both defending against the enemy. No, they're both saying that the Russians are attacking. Sorry, I'm a bit confused right there. So Russians are pushing in this area here, and further up south here. So this is the current situation, the strategic situation over at Kupyansk. And yeah, I think that's it for the summary for the day of 646 for the 1st of December. This is the first day of December. And yeah, if you read to this point, do let me know in the comments that, maybe you can type Slava Dipani, then maybe I know that you finished all the way to the conclusion part. Yeah, that will make me happy. And because I will go through that, wow, so many people watch all the way. And another thing is December again, so check out and look out for the Person of the Year, DPA Person of the Year 2023 is going to come. And yeah, it's going to be exciting this time around to see who will be nominated. I'll give more information as time goes by. A bit busy nowadays. I'll see what I can do, and I'll inform more. And yeah, and also do support the main channel. The main channel is currently in jail. YouTube totally don't want to push the channel. I post videos, it don't reach a lot of people. So yeah, do help to support. Do search and check it out. Check out some of the latest video that I've published. I have published 3 reports over the past 24 hours. So do check it out. And I'll see you in the next update.